Bizarre stories and sightings from the Appalachia. You know, there's rules in the Appalachia. I didn't know that till I started looking more into the show and creating it. But it's really interesting. And, you know, if any of you in the live show, and hello, by the way, welcome to the show. You're at the right place. This is KJ's What Happened. I'm KJ, and this is Bizarre Stories and Sightings from the Appalachia. And boy, are there a lot of stories. And there's some pretty cool footage, too. I'm going to share that with you. Hey, Tamara, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I hope you had a good week. And same with all of you. Glad to have you here. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're ready for your weekend. I have a brand new video that'll be up on Sunday. So it's going to be like a KJ weekend, I guess. We got the live show tonight, live show tomorrow at 2. New video on Sunday. It'll be a little bit later on in the day, and it'll be up. And, of course, my uncensored show on Rumble on a Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard. So it's going to be a busy few days, but I love it. It's the way I like it to be. Definitely like spending time with all of you. So thank you again so much for being here, man. This is a really cool subject. And as I do for my other live shows on my Friday nights, I curate these shows. I actually, while I'm making my videos during the week, I'm also curating my shows and I'm putting things together. And by that, I mean, I try to find the best stories and the best footage that I can find. And though there are so many out there, I'll tell you, when it comes to the stories, the horror stories from Appalachia, there are many, many. And even tonight, I really did my best. Most of the stories, if not all, excuse me, are firsthand accounts. You know, it's actually from the person that experienced it. And I like that best, especially with stories like this. And how about you? If any of you in the audience tonight or watching later live in the Appalachia, live near it. I mean, the place is huge. It's 471 million acres. Think about that. 471 million acres. That's how big Appalachia is, the whole area of the mountains. And it's just vast. There's so much there. I was on 2 acres when I lived in Austin, Texas, and I thought that was a huge deal. I just felt like, wow, I got so much room, you know. 471 million? Yeah, so there's a lot of room out there, a lot of space. Perfect place for all kinds of wicked, weird, strange creatures and people to hang out, live, hide out. There's a lot of mythology about this place. There really is. It goes deep. The Appalachia Mountains, the mountain people, the moon people. That's a whole other thing right there. I don't know if I have moon people up tonight. I'll have to go find some. The moon people of the Appalachian Mountains. Look into that. And then, of course, there's so many, cryptids, skinwalkers, all kinds of things. So, and we're going to get into that. Like I said, I did my best to find some really great stories from people who experienced it and some cool footage. Got some crazy footage from some of these things people are recording out there in this area. So all that being said, just want to talk for a little bit, get us started. 471 million acres, man. That must be why there's so many stories. Like I said, if you go down this rabbit hole, you'll see, especially on TikTok, there are tons of stories about the Appalachian Mountains and all the creepy things that go along with it. And as I said at the beginning of the show, there's rules. Like there's actually rules. And I saw this in multiple places throughout the week from different people that don't know each other. But all these people have been handed down rules, usually from grandparents or parents that were in that area. Things to do. You must do if you're out there. At night, they say always, of course, lock your doors and draw your curtains. Never leave any space on your curtains. If at night you hear something scratching at your door, knocking at your door, or calling out your name, especially if it's like, a familiar voice, like your dad, your mom, your husband, your wife, your kids, whatever, don't answer back. Be on a buddy system if you have to go into the woods at night for whatever reason. And the other one is don't go into the woods at night. So, like I said, we'll get into some of those tonight. The rules of living in the Appalachian Mountains. And once again, let us know if you are in that area. Maybe you have your own stories or experiences. Maybe you just went camping out there. But if If you have any of your own experiences and stories, please let us know in the chat or in the messages later. It's always cool to see your stories. I always try to respond. Thank you very much, too. A lot of my videos and shows, you guys will share your stories, and they're always very interesting, so thanks. All right, so I want to say hi real 8G, AATJE, 8G. I think I said that right. Tamara, of course, Swagger, Michael Wilson, T. Kerr, JC Mick, Kathleen, Innocent Striped Tiger. That's a cool name. Gina MH, of course, the 3s, 6s, and 9s. That's some Tesla stuff right there. Love it. Adam Baum, Yeshua Lawson, David Rife. Good to see everybody. No excuses. Sorry if I missed any names. Just scrolling through saying hi. Hey, little bear. And Kava Redeemed. Petite. Good to see y'all. Okay, so you know what? We were a few minutes in, so what I wanted to do, let some people start coming in, and let's go ahead and get started on the show. So very first thing I pulled up here is this. I just want to read just a little bit. Appalachian horror creatures and supernatural entities are rooted in the region's ancient geology, dense forests, and oral traditions from Native American tribes and early settlers. Key legendary beings including the Mothman, a winged humanoid associated with disaster, the Wampus Cat, a half-woman, half-cougar spirit from Cherokee folklore capable of driving victims mad, and the Spearfinger, a stone-skinned witch who hunted children for their livers. Other prominent entities include the Wendigo, a gaunt, cannibalistic spirit of greed that mimics human voices. The Raven Mocker, a shape-shifting entity that feeds on the life force of the sick and dying. And the Knot Deer. I heard so much about the Knot Deers out there. A modern cryptid that resembles a deer but moves unnaturally. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the Knot Deers. Folklore also features in the area Bigfoot. Out there it's called the Wood Booger, the Glowing Brown Mountain Lights, and the Flatwoods Monster, with many legends serving as cautionary tales about the dangers of the isolated wilderness. Then I pulled this up right here. Appalachia. This category is for cryptids that live in the Appalachian Mountain region of the U.S. Appalachia, known to have more sightings of mysterious cryptids than anywhere else in the United States. That's another reason why Appalachia is a big deal, and a very interesting rabbit hole if you want to go down it and start checking out the stories, the footage, all of it, man. There's news stories. You can find all kinds of things about strange experiences out there. Anyway, here's a list. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can see some right here. Wampus, Men in Black, Snallygaster. I like that name. Dude's a real snallygaster. I don't like him. Sheep Squatch. Awesome. Cumberland Dragon. Devil Monkey. All right, so there's some right there. All right, just wanted to show you, man, there is a really rich history in the paranormal and the supernatural and the cryptid world in the mountains of Appalachia. As I told you, like 471 acres. Jeepers. There's plenty of room for plenty of things. So let's go and check this one out right here. Here's one that I know I've shown on KJ's What Happened once before, but it says the feral people of Appalachia. But this creature we've seen it a lot throughout the years in different videos and from all around the world. It's like these humanoid creatures. They're never wearing clothes. Their skin's all white. They have no hair. And it looks like one of those. Some people call it the rake, but this was filmed in Appalachia.
Appalachia is really an entity all on its own. And the folklore and the stories and the creatures that come out of there, it's truly mind-boggling. Have you ever heard of feral people? If you haven't, you need to do some quick research because they are very real and they live in deep Appalachia. And the elders, the old timers, say that when they come down for a reason. And that's usually to grab a child. Take a look at the following home security footage captured by a woman named Michelle. They live near the Appalachian Mountains, literally right up to the mountain. And something came down, and it may be feral people. Take a look at it, comment below, tell me what you think.
This is crazy.
Alarms are going off, and the rooster's going nuts.
And real quick, if this is the same one I'm thinking it is, to me it's a modern classic, and it depends on what happens at the end of this, but it's pretty wild.
We caught some coyotes in the backyard. What is that?
It's probably that coyote.
Right there. What the heck?
Is that coyote?
No.
That's not a coyote. That's a fucking person. I'm gonna get the shotgun.
Where's the dog?
Come on.
Well, you better go now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is one I was thinking of. Check out the end of it. It's crazy. This is in January of this year.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck is that?
I don't know. The rooster's not too happy. Where's the dog? There's the dog. Why is she in her freaking pen? What the? Oh my God. Okay, so it came back. What the hell?
There's Lucy right there.
I was scared.
Yeah, but you see where it's standing?
Yeah, it's looking in the window at you.
It's at our window. What?
It's a good way to get shot in the face.
It's looking in their window. It's standing right at their window.
And the dog's just staring.
So why is the damn dog not barking?
What do you think? Feral people? A night crawler? Rake?
Yeah, she said rake. A lot of people call it the rake, which is pretty interesting because, you know, you may have heard of creepypasta. It's where Slender Man came from, and all kinds of scary stories online people that make up, and they create different creatures and characters over there, and it's real popular, creepypasta. And the rake is something similar to that. You know, it started on there, I don't know when, a long time ago. It's been around for a while. Then, you know, people more and more start recording these things in real life that look like the rake. And you know what? I should do a video on it and just do some more research first. But I did one on Slender Man a long time ago because, you know, two little girls tried to lead another little girl. And I say little, they're probably like 12 or 13 when they did this. And they led a little girl out in the woods. And they were going to try to sacrifice her for Slender Man. And they were both convinced. In fact, one of them just escaped briefly. Yeah, I should put it all together again. But she escaped briefly from the jail she was in. And this is like within the last year. I'm sure I showed that on KJ's What Happened. But they were convinced, like completely convinced they were talking to him. You know, that he was a real thing. So, you know, there's a thing called the tulpa. I've done videos on it in the past where if enough people think about something and concentrate on something collectively, they can create it. And so perhaps it's a tulpa thing, but also it's like perhaps, you know, again, demons are shapeshifters. And what a way for a demon, you know, to get more attention, but to take shape of something that was created in a creepypasta, right? Enough people talk about it and build it up and believe in it, you know, that a demon could, why not, manifest into it, especially into a couple of, you know, little kids, you know, that believe in this stuff, you know. and talk to them. Why not? You know, maybe the same thing for the rake. Maybe it's a demon that shapeshifted into it, and or maybe there's multiple that are shapeshifting into it. You know, I don't know. These are my thoughts. I'm not sure, but I'll put it all together if I find enough stuff, enough other pieces, and I'll make a video on that. The tulpa, though, it's a really interesting subject. Tulpa, Tulpa. That'd be a good one to do anyway. These two were working in the barn in Appalachia when they hear a strange noise, startles them, and they decided to take a break. It says the scariest sound I've ever heard in the Appalachian Mountains, and I have now gotten it on camera twice. What is it? Yeah, another one. Strange noises out there and screams. Let me go get it. Their audio's low. Yeah, they got low audio. I got it cranked. Hopefully it'll get louder. Yeah. There we go. Trying to pretend we heard nothing.
Take a break anyways.
When I zone in on an out-of-place tree, I've never noticed. Tree looks like a Y, or wishbone.
That tree's interesting.
Oh my God.
Or, look at that. It's like a deer. Deer horns, antlers. So they're saying
Just
that
looking at the tree. It's a cool tree.
they're acting nonchalant. I guess they
It's
heard.
very oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's too bad. Their audio was super low on that. You know, we need it higher to hear whatever they're hearing. But anyway, it says these two were working in the barn. They hear a strange noise. It startles them. They decide to take a break. The person filming becomes fixated on a tree that really seems out of place. It's in a U shape, almost like a slingshot. The birds are still chirping, so I think they were okay. But if you keep hearing a noise as if it followed you, would it be time to call it a day, is what they said. It says, are we watching an end of the world movie? You're living in one, buddy. Oh, this guy right here, I just brought up his whole page here on TikTok. He does tons of these Appalachian videos, witch caught on camera, all these. So what we'll do is I'll come back to him and we'll just check it out because he's always got footage and trail cam videos and stuff. It's really interesting. So yeah, he's one we can just kind of pick through. So we'll come back and check out some of his at the end. Save that for the end.
The subject we're going to cover.
The horrifying feral people, of Appalachia. So here's another story on some of the ferals, they say.
Tonight is without a doubt horrifying. It's disturbing. And I don't mind admitting to you and in front of the rest of the world that it's a subject that terrifies me. As a person who doesn't like to stay on the beaten path, I'm not a marked trail kind of guy. I want to get out into the deepest, wildest parts of the wilderness to experience the dynamics and the beauty of nature at 100% rate. I can tell you that this subject gives me great pause. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the subject of feral people. Specifically, do feral people still exist in the Appalachian Mountains and foothills? Now, I ask you to keep in mind that I'm not talking about people who have recently or in the recent past detached from society and now they're living a life of semi-isolation as survivalists or as homeless people. Not at all. I'm talking about people whose ancestors, generations and generations ago, for whatever reasons, under whatever circumstances, became isolated or chose isolation in the deep wilderness in pockets up and down the Appalachian Mountains and foothills. The question is, do their descendants still exist in the Appalachian Mountains today? Evidence suggests that they do, in fact, still exist. Eyewitness testimonies. More importantly, to me, It's the word of the mountain people that say, yes, they do exist. And I give heavy weight to the word of the mountain people. It is said that these feral people have their own language, that they have their own system of communication for purposes of locating one another at distance, for purposes of facilitating the hunt, for purposes of alerting the presence of intruders, and even for purposes of setting up attacks and ambushes. It is said that they display the characteristics of generations of inbreeding. And common sense dictates that, being that there is the severe state of their isolation.
That goes back to the
It is
moon
believed
people.
that they are very, very violent. And while they would certainly, at all costs, avoid any accidental contact with any element of the outside world, many believe, including myself, that they will perch on the boundary between their world and our world, hiding, watching, being stealthy, waiting. When we intrude into their world, and they are given the opportunity to raid an unattended camp for gear, for food, for clothes, for shoes, for whatever they can use, that they'll do it. But the most terrifying aspect of this subject is the fact that there is plenty of evidence and testimony that tells us that they will opportunistically resort to cannibalism, which means as true hunter-gatherers, they will not only engage in hunting wildlife, but they'll engage in hunting us. An undisputed fact is that thousands of people in the wildernesses of North America have gone missing, vanished, no explanation, never to be seen again. And the Appalachian Mountains, certainly no stranger to that story. Welcome to the strange and unexplained phenomena of the South Mountains of North Carolina. I am your host, Kaiser Rebel. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and give me a few minutes of your time, especially if you're a hiker or a camper in the South Mountains. It would have been equally at home in the Linville Gorge or Roan Mountain or Wilson's Creek, to name a few places. Definitely a person, in the way he was raised, hunting and fishing, definitely a person at home in the woods. But it was during his time at the university when he developed a passion, a lifelong passion for something that he had never experienced before. He was invited and took the opportunity to go on a long-range hiking and camping trip along the Appalachian Trail with some of his college friends. And that was a passion that never left him the rest of his life. And to this day, if he could still do it, he would do it. In the summer of 1977, James became completely disillusioned with the university scene and just tired of college life. And he elected not to go back that fall to start his senior year at the university. So he moved back home. He got a job in a furniture plant and he moved on with his life. Later in that year, near the end of the year, James began to plan a trip, a vacation. And this trip would take place in the springtime. He secured time off from work. Springtime came in the second week of April, 1978. James stepped off on this great adventure. Now, his intent was to hike deep into this wilderness area he had never explored before, set up a base camp, and then each day he was there for a week, he would hike in a different direction to explore, to experience nature, to see what he could see. He budgeted time that day so that he would arrive at his desired destination with a couple hours to spare. He needed a couple hours of daylight to get camp set up, to get him some food, to have a minute to stop and rest. And that's what he did. And he sat there, enjoying a cup of coffee, enjoying a smoke, got in bed early. The next morning woke up before the sun was up. He took time to make him some breakfast, have some coffee, and then to secure his camp, to pull his food and anything that smelled like food. So what you do is you put them in bags, you tie a rope around it, you throw the rope over a high branch in a tree. He had never heard in the woods before. Now keep in mind, when you're familiar with a certain wilderness area, a certain part of some, but he filed it away and continued on. Just about 5 more minutes down the trail, he realized that he had a hitchhiker in his boot. He had put on his boot, got a pebble or a piece of debris in his boot, and gravity took over, worked its way down, and he was stepping on it every other step. He had to deal with it. He stopped, sat down against a tree, took his boot off, and sure enough, there was that pebble. He put his boot back on and got ready to take that next step, and he heard a distinctive sound. This time he knew exactly what it was. It was the sound of human voices, and these human voices were coming from the direction of his camp, but they weren't speaking English. They just didn't sound right.
All right, man. You know what? This guy, I mean, I'm glad we got to the end of the story, and it wasn't even like that crazy, right? It's like he had real, like there was a lot of, I don't know, I kept finding this one, so I thought maybe this would be a good one, but it was okay. I mainly just kind of engaged with my live chat for a little bit. It was nice seeing everybody, so I tried to say hi to folks because I just kept waiting for him to get to the point. I don't know if you're with me on this. He's still, he's a good voice. I think he's a good storyteller. Just got to speed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? He's going like, now I'm going to tell you something right now. Now this story I'm about to tell you is one of the scariest stories. I have goosebumps right now as I'm about to tell you this story. I have goosebumps. You know what I mean? All right, we'll move on. Either way, I can't complain. Good to have you all here. Thank you for
The
being
following
here.
video
Always. All right, check this out.
comes from a man who lives near the Appalachian Mountains. He always goes hiking, and typically he's by himself. But as we know, there's a lot of myth and lore, paranormal that comes out of these mountains. He's never experienced it. It was until this video. He captures some unidentified animal that he's never heard before in the woods. Take a look at this video, listen to it, and tell me what you think could have caused this.
Hey. Woo! Can't answer that. It's pretty crazy. I told you there's a bunch of odd sounds out there. Now, I'm going to tell you that this sound that was in the woods that I heard was one of the scariest sounds. I have goosebumps. Here's another one of these. Wait. Oh, you know what? I think I pulled this because it had a better, closer shot of that thing that was in their backyard, and it's a shorter clip.
Appalachian Mountains of the USA. What this couple caught on camera is
So look at that.
absolutely terrifying.
How'd you like seeing that in your backyard? Or better yet, standing at your back window right next to your door and just looking straight in. I mean, maybe you got your curtains drawn, but still, just the whole idea of that, right? It's like some weird humanoid. They don't have hair. Their skin's always all white, looks like.
Absolutely terrifying. Michelle and her partner Jonathan live on a remote property deep in the Appalachian Mountains where strange things were nothing new for them. But recently, things have been seriously escalating.
Right there. What the heck?
For several weeks now, they've been spotting really odd footprints all over their American property. Then one night, they were suddenly woken up by their security alarms going off. Assuming it was just some coyotes, they checked their cameras, but what they saw was something much worse.
Well, you better go now.
The footage showed a thin man acting extremely strangely, running around their property in erratic patterns, and at one point even walking right up to their window and peering inside. By the time Jonathan got outside to investigate, the man had completely vanished. Many people across the USA believe what they encountered could have been one of the infamous feral people of Appalachia, individuals who've lived in total isolation for so long they've gone completely wild. Do you think this was real? Drop your answer in the comments.
Well, then, the one thing the guy was talking about was the inbreeding out there for so many years. And then that leads into the whole moon people thing. So I'll try to remember to pull up something on the moon
The
people.
following videos are from a man named Josh. He and his grandparents are dealing with weird, abnormal neighbors. These neighbors keep crossing onto their property line
Appalachia.
and just basically terrorizing them. But the problem is, their neighbors are almost like feral people. And they look different and weird, and something is just completely off. It's gotten to the point to where they have notified the local sheriff, and unfortunately, they are not able to do anything. So Josh has taken it upon himself to go out onto the property, hide, and videotape what the neighbors are doing to he and his grandparents. And this is going to blow your mind. And things are starting to escalate. Now these people are leaving weird objects around their home. Take a look at these next few videos, comment below, and tell me what you think.
Wake up, I use the bathroom, and here's my house. It's a post that I used to hang a hammock on. I look on this side. It's pointed straight at my house.
That's weird.
Okay, so I wake up.
Man, I want to hear more of that.
Hang a hammock on. I look on this side.
It says it's confirmed she's doing root work on me and my family. I do not know what type of root this one is or its purpose, but I've contacted a sheriff deputy, and he said to call them if she comes back on the property, as if she would still be here once they arrive, it says. Indeed. So yeah, I guess there's some feral people witchcraft or something going on out there. That's pretty crazy. I wish there was more to this video. I'd like to see his whole story. Being attacked by the feral people. It says, what in the Appalachia Trail is going on here? May 25th, 2026, Appalachia Trail, Tennessee. Trail hikers seen a shiny sphere flying around the mountains as they enjoyed their hike. This is what they captured. That's a good catch. It does look like that boogosphere. But I showed on a Saturday show, last Saturday, that they drilled into the boogosphere, and turns out it's all just like, looks like it's man-made. It's really well done. It's like all mechanical or whatever. And they did an amazing job on all the artwork on the outside of it. So I don't know. But we know that these metal spheres have been being seen all around. You know, it's not just the boogosphere. A couple of them shut down airports. Remember those stories? So yeah, they've been around here for the last year or so, the mysterious spheres.
That thing was not human. The video I want you to check out today gave me the goosebumps because it's coming out of the Appalachian Mountains, and I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains. And growing up, there were so many stories that the people that lived there...
Some people were saying this could be the Wampus cat. That was what it's called, right? The Wampus cat. We saw that at the beginning.
That were much older than me would tell you to keep the kids out of the woods, like there were mimics or there were shapeshifters or there were wild animals. So seeing this video today that I want all of you to see literally gave me goosebumps. Some quick context: a couple was out in the woods, they heard some really weird noises, you pull out your phone to record, and they captured this. And well, just take a look. That is not a normal eye placement for a mountain lion. The reason this video gives me the chills is because I grew up in those mountains and I remember some really weird stuff going on in my childhood. So it doesn't surprise me that this could actually be a shapeshifter or a mimic, because they claim that the entire car was surrounded by these glowing eyes and also scratching on the car. And unless mountain lions, pumas, or cougars completely changed their entire behavior patterns and are no longer solitude-like creatures, then I don't know what to tell you. But let's have this conversation today, because this video
Gotcha. Gave you the chills. This gave me goosebumps. All right. Thank you, sir. That's a good one. Yeah, some people in the chat were saying it might be the Wampus cat. Wampus cat. Wampus cat. You decide.
So we have about 200 acres in the Appalachian Mountains. We're not there full time, so periodically I check the cameras just to see what's there. And what the fuck is that? What's that? Anybody with a Ring camera understands that if your camera picks up motion, it starts recording. Otherwise, it just takes a picture every minute. And this was captured in one of the pictures. It didn't record. To get an idea, this is the whole view from that camera.
Whoa.
This is the road.
Pretty.
This is the driveway.
Live there?
That you can either go up past there or you can come this way. Okay, so there's the driveway road. There's a gate right there. All along here on the other sides of the pond are these huge ditches that if you were to stand in them, they'd be over your head. Okay, so we get a layout. This tree, road, driveway. This is a deer in the same spot. And if you look over there, you can see the camera caught it, and the camera was recording that deer running from over there to over here. Okay, it was going this way. Camera caught it. You can see in the bottom corner, it says motion detected, that deer.
Right.
Here is where it caught a car. You can see the car at the end of the driveway. See a vehicle. It caught it. It started recording, caught it. And now here is where you see it just pops up, and then it goes away. I'm scrolling with my finger. Here is where it caught deer at night in the same spot. The one on the left is in the same spot. At night, it caught it. Now I know what you're saying. Ring cameras capture weird stuff all the time. That's fine. I get it. Like the time I thought I saw a ghost in the yard. Right here. I thought that looked like a person. Not to mention the fact, if this was an actual person on a horse riding up my driveway, even if the camera didn't detect it, it would have still caught an image every so often of it walking up the driveway.
Walking up the driveway. That's good. Just turn it down. Her audio suddenly jammed up a little bit, got higher. Whoa, look at that. A Knights Templar? What?
and then it goes away. I'm scrolling with my finger. Here is where it caught deer at night in the same spot. The one on the left is in the same spot. At night, it caught it. Now I know what you're saying. Ring cameras capture weird stuff all the time. That's fine. I get it. Like the time I thought I saw a ghost in the yard. Right here. I thought that looked like a person. Not to mention the fact, if this was an actual person on a horse riding up my driveway, even if the camera didn't detect it,
Oh, it didn't. Okay.
it would have still caught an image every so often of it walking up the driveway.
Right.
There's no way it could have gotten over the gate, and there's no way that it could have gone in the creek to get onto the property. If you understood how deep this creek is, there's no way that horse could have gone down into the creek and then up and out again onto the property. It just doesn't make sense. Side note, we did discover that there is a cemetery located on our property. So many things have happened there that are just unexplainable, and yeah, I'll get into it some other time. So we have about 200 acres.
Pretty wild, though. Look at that. That
And then
picture.
up and out again onto the property. It just doesn't make sense.
That is wild. Doesn't it look like, I don't know, like they have, it almost looks medieval, gives me a Knights Templar vibe. I don't know. What do you think? That's the question.
He was 67 minutes into his live stream, deep in the Appalachian Mountains, when his viewers noticed something in the background.
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the back.
Look at this.
Where?
At first, he thought they were joking, but when he turned around, what he saw next was truly unsettling.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He was 67 minutes into his live stream, deep in the
Look at that, man.
Appalachian Mountains, when it
Looks like an all-black figure.
his viewers noticed something in the background.
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the back.
Like,
Where?
you
At
see the
first, he
side.
thought they were joking, but when he turned around, what he saw next was truly unsettling.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He
Yeah.
was 67 minutes into his live
Yeah, time to go. One more time.
stream, deep in the Appalachian Mountains, when his viewers noticed something in the background.
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the back. Where?
At first, he thought they were joking, but when he turned around, what he saw next was truly unsettling.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He was
There, it kind of looked like it had a white-looking face, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Or is it on that tree? No, it really does. Looks like it all black. Maybe it's wearing a cloak or something. I don't know. And then it looks like it kind of has a white-looking kind of face. I don't know. It's weird. Wish I could get a bigger version of that. What would you think about that? I mean, that's really wild. He's on a live stream. Have no idea how many people are watching, but, you know, he's doing a live stream. People are watching. And then somebody comments, yo, someone's watching behind you. Huh? Turns around and he sees that, which doesn't look normal. Doesn't look like whatever it is wearing normal clothes. It's abnormal. It's unusual. It's going to cause a reaction. And that felt natural. Like, oh, time to go. Yep. All right. All right, let's check this one out. It says wait for it.
Stop, please. Please.
This creepy video comes from Dee's Dark Adventures. I'll tag it below. After hiking on a strange trail in the woods of Ohio, she begins to be hunted by something in the distance, and it does not go well. Because not only does it look much larger than her, but it follows her all the way out of the woods. And you can tell she was terrified. I cut it down 4 times, but here's how it all started. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yeah. I can't go home. Please, I'm leaving.
After that scare, she makes it safely out of the woods. That is until she hears movement behind her and turns around and sees something in the tree line.
What is that? It's a snow. Fuck is it, dude? No! It looks like a person, man. But a person.
Look at that. You can see it coming.
A fucking person. Stop.
That's freaky. It sits.
I need a person. I need a person.
And it looks like an all black figure again, doesn't it?
Stop.
Dude,
Somebody drive by. Somebody drive by.
someone needs a pew pew. Unless it's supernatural. Yeah, that's pretty wild. You can see it clearly right there, but right, it looks like another, like an all black figure. You can't make out any distinctive clothing, designs, hats, faces, heads. It's like an all black figure chasing you through a field. Yeah. That's not fun. I don't think.
What's the weirdest and most unusual experience you've had in the Appalachian Mountains? Buckle up, story time.
I know this guy looks really wild. I went to his page and he explains the eye and all that, but I think he's into, just whatever, darker stuff. Pray for him. Pray for the young man. All right, let's check this out.
Let me first shed some context on this area. You know how almost every region has a haunted location, like a haunted house? Everyone knows the history there, and everyone also knows that that history is a little dark. People funnel all sorts of energy into that location. The human brain is a very powerful thing, and when enough human brains come together in one idea and focalize into a certain location, like a haunted house, for example, it can bring forth some things, manifesting entities with energies. Now, I live in the Appalachian foothills, the gateway to the Appalachian Mountains. I live smack dab in the middle of Wayne National Forest. A lot of native people used to live here, and they were relocated, offsetting an entire way of life, removing native people from their holy lands, native people dying in droves. Well, a lot of them focalized a lot of that energy to bring forth a certain entity that I don't even like saying out loud, but I've seen it, and it was fucking terrifying. All of our roads around here just go through endless forest. It can kind of get to your head when you're driving at night. Hardly any cell phone service in a very remote and sparsely populated area. One night I was heading home from fishing, just listening to the radio and carrying on, when a coyote stepped into the middle of the road. This thing ain't moving down the road, so I just hit my brakes and I sit there with it in my headlights. When I first saw it, it'd be about as far as where that barn is, but it got as close to where that fence is right there. It was acting real strange, real confident, nonchalant, like I didn't matter, like that big hunk of steel that I was driving, it didn't care about. It was walking right down the center of that one. When it gets from about me to that fence, it just stops. I've never seen an animal be so still in my life. So I'm honking my horn at it. I'm making all sorts of noise and hooting. I don't want to hit this thing. I want to just get around it. But something's really striking me off with it. I honk at it several more times, till finally I take my car out of park, and the moment I took my car out of park, I saw it stand up. Just like the freaking hair on my arm right now, I saw it stand up on its back legs, man, and it rattled me to my core. We don't even say the name of this thing out loud here. You'll just invoke it. The only thing I thought to do was just accelerate hard and get past it and try not to look at it as I got by. But I could not help but notice it remained perfectly still, except for its head twisting, looking at me as I went by it. I was terrified to look at my rear view. Terrified. I flew down them old coal mining roads and those old wagon trails, man. I was hauling ass to get home. I never once felt like it wanted to hurt me. Just wanted to make sure that I knew that it was real. As big, as brawny, and as strong as I am, there wasn't a single part of my head that thought that I could win whatever that was. It psychologically dominated me without barely moving. When it stood up, it looked like it had gained like an extra 2 feet, just perfectly still. I got more of them. Me and Cody had a few run-ins with the big guy too. Me and Cody even got impressions of his feet, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, he explains his eye over on his channel, Dead Eye Two Tongues. And he's, I don't know, I guess he's just into that piercing tattoo culture stuff. I'm not sure, I don't know much about him. This first video I'd ever found about him this week was about his experience. Says, I heard wicked stuff happens in the mountains. We get a cool story here.
You heard correct. I grew up in the Appalachia for the first 21 years of my life, and it's Appalachia Mountains, not Appalachia. If you're from there, don't fight me on this. And also, if you're from Appalachia, you know the rules. You shut your curtains at night, you lock your doors, you lock your windows, you never go out in the woods alone. You use a buddy system. And if you think you heard something, no, you didn't. There's one particular time growing up, I did not follow these rules, and what happened to me still bothers me to this day. I used to ride horses, and me and my friends would go trail riding a lot. This particular day, it was just me and one other friend. We went out into the woods around sunset, and this was a pretty big property with lots of like trees. There were some open field streams, things like that. And we knew the trail pretty well. So this particular day, I don't know what got into us, but we decided we were going to play a game of hide and seek on horseback. I told her that I would hide first, so I went up the trail a little ways and then cut off over this like stream back into this more remote area of the woods. There was this old rundown cabin that I decided to hide behind, and my horse was very docile, like very gentle. Nothing ever spooked him, but as I was hiding there, he became extremely restless. This again was not at all in my horse's nature, so I started to feel like really uneasy, like what is going on. I decided I was just going to take him back down to the trail and just go try to find my friend so that we could get back to the barn. My horse would not budge, refused to go back down that trail. I finally got off my horse because I was like, well, maybe if I just lead him, he'll follow me back down. And this is the part that still terrifies me, but at that moment, everything got really, really quiet, including my horse. And I heard my friend say, "Hey, Sydney." I was like, oh my God, thank God she's found me. I'm like, hey girl, I'm over here. But I couldn't see her. Like, I was like, where are you? Hello? And then I started to hear, psst, psst. And then again, Sydney, this way. At this point, y'all, I am in tears. I get back on my horse and sprint back to the barn. By the time I get back to the barn, it's almost dark out, and I see that my friend's horse is in the stall. I'm like, what the heck? Why did she come back and just leave me out there in the woods? I mean, this whole incident was maybe about 30 minutes, so I don't know why she would have just left. I find her in the tack room, and she was like, you were out there for like an hour and a half. It was like, I couldn't find you. I didn't know where you were, so I just came back. I look at the clock, and she was absolutely right. It had been almost 2 hours that I was out there, and it felt like it was only like 20 minutes. I told her what happened to me. We were both just so terrified, like trying in our brains to figure out what that could have been. And to this day, I still have no idea. So yes, the stories you hear of the Appalachian Mountains are so true. If you have any encounters with this or any experience, or you have any stories to share about the Appalachian Mountains, leave it in the comments, because
that's what I was saying earlier too. If any of you, have stories been passed down perhaps in your family about something from Appalachian Mountains, or you had an experience there, perhaps you live around the area now, for all I know. But if you've had any wild experiences in real life, let us know in the chat or in the messages later. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I keep seeing all these videos of UFO sightings all over the United States. So I think it's the perfect time for me to tell this really weird story that happened to me when I was in 8th grade. I never thought I would ever post this on social media because I'm like embarrassed to tell people, but...
And I found her because she has another story. In fact, maybe we'll hear that one first. Her stories are all about Appalachia as well. And I think this is her other one. Yeah.
As many of you know...
I grew up in Appalachia and I had an encounter with a skinwalker. So let's check this one out first. And then later we'll watch her UFO story.
As many of you know, I grew up in deep Appalachia. I now live in Atlanta, Georgia, and there are times where I'll tell my friends stories from what happened to me when I lived out there, and they're like, what? I already posted about my UFO story last year, and that video got to like 3 million views. But today, I'm going to tell you guys the story of when I was a kid and I encountered a skinwalker. Or at least what I thought was a skinwalker. I hate long intros, so I'm just going to get into the story. The place I lived was a place called Jasper, Georgia. It's right next to LJ, and I lived in the place where the show Squidbillies was based on, and we have a Squidbillies shrine in our town center. I had a friend that I would stay with pretty often, and her family owned a 300-acre farm, and when I say family, it's just her and her mom who lived there. And so they have like all these farm animals, and they have different parts of their land that you have to walk through trails in the woods to get through. Like, in order to get to one barn, you have to walk through the woods for like 10 minutes just to get there. So there was one day that I was sleeping over there, and we had been home alone all day. I was probably in 3rd grade when this happened. Some of you might ask why me and my friend were just like 2 3rd graders alone on this farm. And it was because my parents were getting a divorce, and so I needed a place to go, so I pretty much lived with this girl at the time. But back to the story. So my friend's mom was on the way home, but I guess there was like a lot of traffic, or she was running late or something. So she called my friend and she asked her if we could like go down to one of the barns and feed the horses before we went to bed. So at this point in time, it was probably like 8 o'clock. The sun was going down. It was about to be nighttime. You could still see the sun and the light when you're in the open field, but in the woods, it was like pretty dark. Like there was no sunlight. So my friend and I started walking through the pasture to the woods, and she had a flashlight with her. We got to the woods, she turned the flashlight on, and we started walking. We were walking for maybe like 3 or 4 minutes through these woods, so we're about halfway through the trail, and we're just talking about some shit and laughing. And then all of a sudden, my friend just stops talking, and like I was kind of just like looking at her, like as we were speaking. I wasn't really looking in front of me. And then she just like drops the flashlight and starts sprinting in the opposite direction, like back to the house. And so I was like, "You okay, Rebecca?" And because that was her name. And I turn and I see her sprinting, and the flashlight was just like on the floor in front of me. And I was like, "What the fuck?" So I turn back in front of me, and I just see like maybe like 10 feet away this gigantic like white figure. And I didn't look at it for long, but just like the sheer height of this thing, whatever the fuck it was,
Yikes.
scared me so badly that I looked at it and immediately was like fight or flight mode. Like I felt danger. So right when I looked at it, I turned the other way and fucking booked it. I was running faster than I'd ever ran before. So fast that I passed my friend. And I was like running and pissing my pants at the same time. Like that's how fucking scary it was. And so I ran all the way back to her house, and in my brain I was like, what is the one place I can hide right now where no one will find me? And the only thing I could think of was like, I just ran to the laundry room and I got in the dryer. And so I was just sitting in the dryer, and it was like one of those old school dryers. It wasn't like plastic clear cover. So it was just like a white door that closes it from the front. And so I was just in there. I was like curled up in a ball, and I waited like, I don't know, what seemed like 15-20 minutes. I was just in there covered in piss. And eventually I thought that whatever the fuck was in the woods had like killed my friend. And so I was just crying and like I was freaking out. But I was also terrified and didn't want to die. So I was just sitting in there. And then eventually my friend walks through the door, and I can tell that she's crying and she's like hyperventilating. She's like, like I hear that. And so I open the dryer, and she's like scared when I open it, obviously. And I was just like also crying, and we hug each other, and I was like, "Where did you go?" And so she told me that she had ran and she got into like this trailer that was kind of near the house because it was the only place she could think of to hide. And so we were both hiding, and I guess she just like mustered up the courage to run to the main house. And so we were both just like trying to explain what we saw and like put together whatever the fuck that was. And this was like 2008, maybe 2009. So I think I was like 12 or something when this happened, but this was way before like creepypasta or like any of these stories were like even around. So we couldn't even put a name to like what the fuck we saw out there. And so when her mom finally got home, we tried to explain what just happened, and she just like dismissed us, and she was like, you girls are just like overreacting. You guys saw a bear or like a
parents.
deer or something, which is still terrifying if we saw a bear, but it definitely was not a bear because this thing was like pure white. And in the dark, it's like the only thing you can really see is
Whoa.
like if there's someone standing in front
That's
of you with a
freaky.
white t-shirt, like you're gonna see that. But this thing was completely white, and that's all I remember is just like this gigantic, like 7 or 8 foot tall thing, just like standing right in front of me, staring at me. And so I'm not friends with this girl anymore. I haven't talked to her in probably like 15 years. But I just remember that story, and I remember being so scared that I pissed myself. And the only thing I could think of that being is like a skinwalker. So maybe that is a skinwalker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what about all the other ones out there we see that people call rakes that aren't 7 or 8 feet tall? You know, they look more like maybe 6 foot, like, right? I guess hard to gauge, but interesting. I don't know. Thanks for sharing, lady. We'll check out her UFO story later. So these always are like a you decide kind of thing. This is pretty weird. It says it's in the Appalachian Mountains. Let's see.
Get up here, Carly! At first, I didn't notice anything strange in the video, but then if you zoom in, look at what is over by Carly. This video was taken in the Appalachian Mountains. We all know the eerie mysteries and dark rumors about those woods. You don't go in them alone. This was daytime, but especially at night, there was something in those bushes. And there are all of these rumors about skinwalkers and like all of these stage thing for the internet, but you still have to admit this is really creepy. And it's common knowledge that supernatural.
Yeah, exactly. Like with this one, you know, like it's right there in the middle with me. I mean, it could be something staged, perhaps, or it's real. I don't know. Here's one. It says in the Appalachian Mountains after dark, and something with huge yellow eyes is staring at us from the darkness. I don't think this one's fake.
Mm-hmm. We all in a clip.
Yikes. Hey, little fella. Come here, puppy. Come here, puppy.
I'm surprised we have cell phone services.
Mm-hmm. We all in a clip.
Yep. That's pretty freaky. Good catch. Hey, puppy. Come here, puppies.
This man made a serious...
And then I played this. It's that other... It's the one we just saw, but it's a better, closer version of it. Or better version, sorry. It's clearer.
Mistake by going out for a walk near the Appalachian Mountains. At one point, he noticed that his daughter seemed to be playing with something strange, a creature with long arms and a terrifying appearance. What makes it even more unsettling is that, in the comments under the video, a theory emerged. Some people believe it could have been a Wendigo. This man made a serious mistake by going...
Right, so I don't know.
Theory emerged. Some...
You decide. Some of these, I'm not sure. But I will say that as I curated the show this week, that I did my very best to make sure there's no AI stuff, because I'll tell you that, especially with Appalachian Mountain, paranormal, supernatural, all the different creatures, man, there is tons of AI slop over on TikTok with, you know, fake monsters in the woods, tons. And most of it you can tell, you know, pretty obviously, I think. But, you know, you got to keep your your peepers peeled, you know, as I always say. Oh, no, I don't have a dog. I just got Chubbs. He's the main man. He's the main man. Most terrifying paranormal encounters officers still can't explain, it says. Let's check this out.
All Ready? Then brace yourself for what you're about to see next. The Appalachian Mountains are considered some of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth, older than many of the stories told about them. For generations, people have shared unsettling accounts tied to this region. Unexplained disappearances, strange noises drifting through the forest, and quiet warnings passed down among locals, like never wandering outside after dark, and never responding to voices calling from the woods. The account shown on screen belongs to a family living near gypsum coal mines deep within the Appalachian region. Their home has been in the family for decades, handed down through generations. Like many who grow up there, they were used to occasional odd activity at night. It was something they had learned to live with. But one afternoon, things escalated beyond what they could ignore.
What'd you hear? I heard a help or something.
On the back porch.
There's one back there.
Okay, hold on.
And then I heard.
Another one too, we've heard it mentioned already, but the mimics, you hear a lot of stories out of that area about the mimics. They mimic people you know. This says 11-year-old ran upstairs. Something is running super fast, speed all around our house, screaming help in my daughter's voice, then my husband's voice, and it started whistling a tune around our house and laughing.
It's like I heard Viola's voice say it, and then I heard Dad just say hey, and I didn't do anything about it because I don't know.
Sissy's voice?
Yes. And then I heard some whistling.
I need you to, okay, all right. I'm going to stay upstairs because Gunner is freaked out. He's freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It was loud, and it was Lila.
I heard Dad's voice just say, hey.
Yeah. So there's two different voices on the back porch. I'm not opening the door. I am upstairs with Gunner right now. There's nobody out there, Michael. There's nobody out there. Okay. All right, I love you too. Bye. Okay, we're going to stay up here. Get out of the window. Get out of the window. Okay, listen. If there is anybody outside, I don't see anybody outside. Taz will for 1. Shane will up for 2. Rosie will up for 3. And then if they don't stop them, Mommy has I have a 9, and that will for sure stop them. But we're going to stay up here until Daddy said he's 2 minutes away. We've got two of the dogs in here with us. Take a deep breath.
I accidentally let the rest of them up here.
I know, and it's okay. Okay. Take deep breaths, okay? My dogs are freaked out. Come here. No, you stay.
She heard help.
Oh my God.
The dogs heard it and took off to the back door.
Don't let her out. I'm recording this just because I am literally shaking. Sometimes the activity gets really bad in the house. And then he said he heard Daddy's voice.
Son, let me in.
There's nobody out there.
Mimic. And the child sounded really scared. Dogs at the door. Look at that.
Don't mind the big bad. Look at all
me. Let me in. I want to give you $100. Huh?
He said it wasn't Dolly, it was clear as day. He said it was Sissy.
So it changed voices.
Screaming for help. And then he said he heard Daddy up front, but Daddy just got home.
Yeah, cast it out. Definitely.
Look at the dogs.
That's right, Chinese chicken.
Don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's ours. Get over here, baby. Come on. My house is really dark.
Get some wood carvings
And
with
so
scripture
on.
and put it outside. Post it in different parts of the yard, facing outwards.
They're all froze. Until you've experienced that, there's no words of fear that goes through your body because there's nobody there.
He heard his sister screaming for help outside.
There we go. We get a
There's
breakdown.
nothing out there. We've got a camera. It drives me absolutely nuts. We've tried.
Her son suddenly rushed upstairs in a panic, claiming he heard his sister screaming for help outside, followed by what sounded like his father's voice calling out as well. Soon after, whatever was outside appeared to change its behavior. Whistling could be heard, then laughter. Footsteps circled the house, almost as if something was trying to provoke a reaction. She called her husband while trying to calm her terrified son. In the background, a faint whisper can be heard saying, "Help." Seconds later, a door begins shaking violently, as though someone, or something, was attempting to force its way inside. When she turns the camera toward the dogs, another whisper can be heard, "Don't look." Throughout the recording, the dogs behave in a distressed and agitated manner, reacting as if aware of something just beyond the walls. A short while later, her husband returns home and confirms there was no one outside. No footprints, no signs of disturbance. What makes the situation even stranger, according to her, is that their property is covered by security cameras. Yet whenever incidents like this occur, and she attempts to review the footage, the system shows no recorded video. She explained that unusual events had happened before, but never with this level of intensity or aggression.
Eek! All right. But really, I was thinking, if I ever had property out there, for real, like, go get some really nice, wood carvings, some nice, like, wood flat wood type pieces, actual wood. Have it lacquered up, all real nice, and then have a wood carving on it and have scriptures, and then put it on posts on the outsides of your property facing out towards the woods. I don't know why. I just think that'd probably be a good idea out there, just in case. Says creature caught on camera in Appalachian Mountains.
Watching the office by the window up here, and we're on the second floor. And I mean, we hear noises out here pretty often.
This one's super creepy, and I'd seen it in the past. I didn't know where it was from, so I'm not sure. It says Wytheville, Appalachian Mountains, so I don't know. But I had seen this one in the past, long ago. It's been a while. You're actually going to see something. It's a pretty crazy catch. Now, I'm saying that, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm comparing it to something else, but I've seen something maybe very similar and even the whatever the crap that is on the roof, it's like it's hard to tell, but you'll see. I might be wrong,
here, but nothing like what we just heard. So it might be worth looking into.
Before AI.
I gotta get a flashlight. I can't really describe exactly what it sounded like, but almost like some kind of a screech. I don't know, maybe some kind of bird, but it was definitely up there. Also, earlier we were hearing some heavy, like thuds, and I don't know if you'd say steps or whatever, but it's like something was scurrying across. I thought it was just squirrels or something, but it could be something heavier. What the fuck is that? What in the fuck? Wait a minute. Hey!
Look at that.
So yeah, what do you think? Should I go out there?
No, please.
Is there something on the roof? I gotta figure out what it is. Like, we can't just leave it up there. It could climb in the window in the middle of the night and kill us.
I don't know. I say.
Screw it. No, I gotta go up there. Where the hell did it go?
Look at that. And again, though, if you think about it, it looks like another one of those white humanoid creatures with no hair, right? Doesn't it? It's got kind of a strange shaped face. Almost looks like an owl in a way, too. I think there's a longer version of this actually somewhere. Let me see. Creature filmed on roof. We've seen those before. Seen those. Trying to find the one we were just watching. Oh, there's a really cool one. I don't know if I'm saving that for a video. I'll just go and show it to you. Here's a really crazy one. And you talk about like shifters. This is a very strange video here.
Spotted.
Look at this. It really looks like it goes from a dog to a human face. That doesn't look like a dog's face right there, does it? To you? And this one just I just found this in this week. I saved it. I'm probably playing it tomorrow. But
Spotted something terrifying after hearing very.
All right, none of that goofy crap. I want to see the real one. Here we go.
This man in Mexico spotted something terrifying. After hearing very strange sounds coming from the roof, he decided to check what was happening and spotted this strange creature. What could this have possibly been? This man in Mexico spotted something.
He's trying to use the same inflection as that other famous TikToker guy that does creepy videos. But let's just see the video, sir. Right? So look, even right there, it goes from the side, right there. I mean, that's a dog, right? I'm not the best with breeds. Almost looks like a German Shepherd or something, but that looks like a dog from the side, right? Clearly. But then watch how quick it changes. And then it turns and quickly looks at the camera, and then look at that. Right? It's like, feels off. Okay, let's get a closer shot. They're not even showing it. There we go. It's a pretty good shot of it. So there you have it, folks. Shifters. All right, we'll go move on. Logan is already inside, so what's trying to get in? I think there's something else on here. This is a compilation video, but there was one in particular I wanted to show. Ooh, again, like, that's not it.
Follows hikers in the Appalachian Trail.
What the devil is that?
This is
It's
it.
a predator. Its eyes are facing forward.
Glowing eyes like that other video.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, draw your weapon. I don't like to look at that.
Look at that.
I see you.
Peekaboo.
Those eyes are wide, too. Look at that. Those are big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Standing tall.
You cocked?
Yeah, I can make this up in this bag.
Oh, fuck.
That's what she said.
All right, let's go.
That I don't know, but that here at the end, the glowing eyes. Just thought it was interesting. We saw those earlier in that other video. Creepy glowing eyes, big glowing eyes. This one you got to watch real close on. Let me see. Cool, we can go full screen. There's actually something he sees out here. I'll try to point it out. I don't know if y'all... Let me ask in the chat. Can you guys see my little mouse thing here? My pointer on the screen? Can you see that thing moving around? I'm going to ask in the live chat. Good to see you all again. Thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you. So, oops. So can you guys see that? Okay, cool. All right, then I'll go, the cursor, that's the word. Thank you. All right, I'll point it out to you, but watch. You actually do see some tall something standing out there, then it disappears before them.
It's not a fucking person, bro. Look. What the fuck is that? What's a hiker?
It's right here. See that? It looks like, it kind of looks like a human figure. It looks like a head and a long body. But that's it. Watch it closely here.
No, it's not, bro. It's not a person. That's way bigger than a fucking hiker.
It's moving a little bit too. See it disappear?
Oh, fuck. It just
was just right there.
disappeared. What the fuck? Nope, nope. Dude, I'm telling you guys, it's not a fucking person, bro. Look.
So again, right there, right
No,
on
it's not,
top.
bro, it's not a person. That's way bigger than a fucking
Look at that. And you see it move. And boom.
Oh, fuck, it just disappeared. What is that? That's a hiker. No, it's not, bro. That's not a person.
That's really tall.
Bro, that's not.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? That's a good capture.
It's not, bro. It's not a person. That's way bigger than a fucking hiker.
That's huge. Whatever it is, it is. Looks to me like it is. It's standing above these trees down here. Tall. Tall, dark figure.
Bro, that's not. That's a hiker. No, it's not, bro. That's not a person. That's way bigger than a fucking hiker, bro. Bro, that's not.
Way bigger than a freaking hiker, bro. All right, that's a good capture, though. Good one. Spooky. Trail cams in the Appalachian Mountains capture horrifying humanoids, is the claim. Man, I gotta stop this music. They play that Tiny Tim song, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, all the time. Look, it's another one of those. Another rake, if you will. But like I said, we've seen these things filmed all around the world. It's been pretty crazy. I've been showing these videos for years. Not this one. This is a newer one. But videos of these types of things all over the place. I don't know about that. Somebody might be playing. Because now they got people carrying it, you know. They might be playing on these. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not sure. You decide. How's that? You decide. And then this one's a pretty strange one also here. Another one you got to watch pretty close to see the creature. If it's all real, right? If this is real, there's something with its head popped up out of the ground.
Dude. No, it ain't.
What? Dude!
What would you do if you saw this in your backyard? He camera pans toward this random hole in the dirt, and something moves. Not an animal, not a shadow, but something pale, human-shaped. It pops up fast, stares at the camera, then drops straight back into the ground like it was never there. And the guy behind the camera doesn't even scream. He just says, calm as ever, That's my son's friend. He lives underground. Like, bro, what? You mean your kid's hanging out with mole people now? The internet lost its mind. Some said it was a skinwalker. Others thought it was an alien. And a few joked it looked like Roger from America.
What the hell?
Maybe it's just a prank. Maybe it's...
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either. I'm not sure. But you decide. For your consideration, I'll say.
Come on, guys.
What's that, Dad?
Let's go. Let's go back inside. Come on. Come on, guys.
What's that, Dad?
Music, we get it, guys.
What's that, Dad?
And this, they slowed it down and zoomed it in, but it looks it's a pretty good shot right there. Wish they would have just zoomed it in there.
Come on, guys.
What's that, Dad?
Yeah, they zoom it in pretty quick. And then they bring in the music. Scare you. You decide. As always. I think what we'll do next is we will do this one. Let's go back to her UFO story in the Appalachian. Haven't heard a UFO story yet tonight.
I think now is a good time. All my close friends already know, so might as well just talk about it. Okay, so I grew up in North Georgia in the Appalachian Mountains in a town called Jasper, Georgia in Pickens County. And I lived in a trailer that was on 4 acres of land. And my neighbors were all pretty far away from me. And my backyard was nothing but woods. There was no lights. There was no street lights in my neighborhood. Nothing. I think this was 2011 or 2012, but I remember it was fall break. It was probably October or November. So I was out of school this whole week and I had just broken my arm. So I just was staying home. My arm hurt. I was just chilling. So I went in my front yard and I just was jumping on my trampoline a little bit, but then I just laid down and I was looking up at the sky. And there was a bunch of little clouds in the sky, partly cloudy. And I'm looking and I see this little white orb pop out of a cloud. And then it sits there for a second and I'm like, what the fuck? And it starts moving across the sky like this, like a zigzag. And it would do that and it would hop from one cloud and then it would do its little zigzag thing to another cloud and keep moving to different clouds. So I was obviously what the fuck is this? So I went inside and I got my mom and we both watched it together until it was too far away and we couldn't see it. And my mom was like, okay, you should stay inside the rest of the day. That was weird. But also yesterday when you were at school, I was washing my car in the front yard and I heard this weird humming sound coming from our backyard. And she said it scared her so bad that she stopped washing her car and just went inside. So that was pretty weird. And then later that night, so in my room, my bed, the way it's positioned is I can turn over and face the wall, or I can flip over and I'm able to look out this window that's in front of me. So that night, I noticed above my house in the sky, there was this really bright light. And it wasn't the moon because I could see the moon in the sky, but it wasn't a star. It was way too big to be a star. So I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? And so I flipped over and just faced the wall. That way I wouldn't think about it and I could just go to bed. And every single night that whole week, I saw this light above my room. So I saw it for like 6 days in a row. And then finally, on the 7th day of the break, so this is like Sunday night, I'm going to bed, I look out the window, and I see 2 lights, 2 really bright lights in the sky instead of 1. And I'm like, oh no. And so I do the same thing. I turn around so I don't look at it, and I just go to bed. And then around like 2:30 or 3 a.m., I woke up, and I remember I woke up feeling really scared, and like my adrenaline was going really hard. And so I turned over and I looked out the window, and the lights outside were flickering on and off like really fast, like in not in unison, but they were like this. So they were going on and off at like different times. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck no. And so I turned around and I faced the wall again, and I was like, bro, just go to bed, just go to bed. So I tried to go to bed, but then like I closed my eyes, and then immediately like my whole room filled up with this crazy white light, and I was just in this white room. And accompanied by that white light was like this super loud sound. It sounded like someone was holding up like air horns to both of my ears, except the air horns were pitched down like super low to this weird like pitch that I've never even heard before. And so I heard that noise, and I was seeing this white light for what seemed like maybe 20 to 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden I was back in my room, laying in my bed, like clutching my pillow. And I remember as soon as I could be back in my room, or as soon as I was back in my room, I pissed myself. So I pissed my pants, and I was just sitting there like shaking, but I was so scared I couldn't move. And then after that, my room was back to normal, but like a second later, the noise came back. So instead of being like a constant like, wah, it was like, wah, 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 like making a weird noise like that. But there was no white light this time. So that went on for maybe like 15 seconds. And so after that, I'm just laying in my bed, like fucking terrified. And I'm thinking in my head, like clearly one of my siblings or my mom heard that. Like we live in a trailer. Like there's no way I was the only one who just experienced this. And so I'm like waiting for someone to get up and start like initiating the, like, what the fuck just happened? And so no one does. And so I'm sitting there and Yikes. I'm terrified because I'm like, is there someone in my house? Like, what the fuck? So I'm just trying to muster up the courage to like run to my mom's room. And so I grab my pillow that I'm holding and my phone, and I fucking sprint to my mom's room. I'm like covered in piss and like sobbing, and like I jump on her bed and I'm just like telling her what happened. And she's like, no, like if that actually happened, we would have all woken up.
All right, I'll stop there. We got it, lady. She pee-pees her pants a lot. Well, I guess just when she's scared, you know? That would make sense, I guess, for some people.
As many of you know,
we got that one earlier. It's her first one, the Skinwalker story.
This is exactly why people say you should never break.
I had to share this one just because they may. I don't remember if this was from Appalachia or not. This one's a classic. It's been around for many years. I shared it. I think I put it in a video a long time ago, but it really is a classic. It still has never been debunked, proven a fake, nothing. And this is, again, man, years ago. This is long. I guess this was, like I said, at one point, man, we were getting more and more videos of these. They look like humanoid creatures. They look like humans with no clothes, but they're all white skin, never have hair. And I don't even know if they have, reproductive organs. I'm not even sure. It seems like, just from what we've seen, like they don't. I don't know. It's weird, right? So you get these things creeping around, right? What's the worst thing you can do? Give you a hug? I wouldn't mess with it, whatever they are. But this is a classic where one of these things came up in this dude's backyard. Many of y'all, I'm sure, remember this. He called his pastor, and I think that he plays some of that on this clip here. So let's check this one out.
The rules of Appalachia, because if you see something out there, no, you didn't.
Oh my gosh.
On August 13th, 2017, a man named Rick Grebenik uploaded a disturbing video to YouTube that would later become a digital urban legend. In the footage, Rick can be heard speaking to a priest on the phone as an unknown creature is seen lurking in his front yard, his voice shaking as he desperately tries to explain what he's seeing outside his window.
Hey, Mickey G.
Hey, Mike, I need you.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Yeah.
Alright, you're not gonna believe this. I got it on video now. I put the iPad in the window and now this thing's coming up to the steps in my backyard, Mike.
What's coming up?
It's like a weird demonic looking thing and it's like a human. And it's all scratched down and this is the second time this happened this week. Weird things been happening around this time at night.
Can I record it?
You're on record. It's everything's recording now. I can see the thing. It's like looking around weird. It's on video. Huh?
Not a person?
No, it's an evil identity. It's evil entity. This thing's like wicked looking. Dude, this thing is weird. Demonic creature. It's not human.
As the camera points into the darkness outside, a pale, bipedal figure slowly emerges from the shadows. It doesn't move like any animal, and it definitely isn't human, and it appears to be watching Rick back, silently, almost as if it knows it's been noticed, and is waiting. Rick describes it as something evil, but many people believe what he captured might have been a skinwalker, or possibly even the rake. But here's the part that actually gives me chills. After uploading this video in 2017, Rick never posted again. No updates, no explanations. He went totally silent. In the Appalachian Mountains, there's a warning that's been passed down for generations. They say if you acknowledge these things, they don't leave. So was this just an elaborate hoax? Or did Rick really see something he wasn't?
Yeah. Look, it's been almost a decade, and again, no one's ever come out and said, hey, all right, have a little fun, had a little whiskey. Buddy put on a all-white skin suit. That would have a little fun. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm from the Appalachian Mountains, born and raised there, right at the foothills of the Smokies, and one of my first jobs was working in a cave. It is a world-famous cave. It's America's largest underground lake. I'm not going to name it by name, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I worked there as a tour guide, and on some shifts you would have to be on boat duty, which means when you're on boat duty, you're normally by yourself, but if it's in busy season, there might be 2 people on boat duty down there, because it's a row of boats, and when a tour comes down, the tour guide takes half, and the boat duty person takes the other half. So you'd be down there sometimes, on slow months, you'd be down there for hours by yourself. And mind you, there's absolutely nothing to do. It's hundreds of feet underground. You're totally by yourself. This was before Wi-Fi or smartphones. So like you had a phone that you could maybe save a book to and you could read a book, but you couldn't watch videos. You were not on TikTok. TikTok didn't exist back then. I think this was like right at the beginning of when Facebook was taken off. But you'd be down there and you'd have to call up every so often to the top to check in. But it was pitch black. I mean, the darkness in a cave when the lights go out is a darkness you can't experience anywhere else. It is complete and total darkness. And you get to experience that on part of the tour, but sometimes the lights would go out unexpectedly and you're on boat duty by yourself. You have a flashlight, but if you're not expecting the lights to go out, why would your flashlight be like in your hand? So sometimes, didn't happen a lot, your flashlight would go out. And this is a cave that is historically known to have been used in Native American rituals and tribes and things like that. And the lake is at the very bottom of this cave. I mean, you got to walk a long way to get down there. So if there's nobody in that cave with you, there's nobody in that cave with you. And sometimes, if it was storming outside, you couldn't tell because you're under a mountain in a cave on a lake in a boat by yourself. But if it was storming, you would have no idea, and the power would go out. And the things I heard in that cave by myself, I can't, like, it gives me chills to think about it. When the power goes out and you're there, I mean, yes, you're there with just your thoughts and your mind does play tricks on you, but you're also in the Appalachian Mountains, one of the oldest mountain range in the world. that is full of spirits and of cryptids, and it's not like a theory if people have the same exact experience all over the Appalachian Mountains. And working in that cave, I mean, the things that have to have existed and met their demise inside that cave to come out, especially when the lights go out, it was one of my favorite jobs, but also one of the most terrifying jobs and experiences of my life. Because growing up in Appalachia, you don't go in the woods after dark. If you hear something that you shouldn't hear, you should not respond to it. And working in a cave in the Appalachian Mountains when the lights go out with no smartphone and no contact to the outside world is absolutely terrifying. And not to mention that this lake is very deep. It's crystal clear. It's full of blind trout, and you're by yourself. So I would implore you to go on this tour and to experience it, because there's places in that cave that are just, it's unexplainable. I'm from the...
Cool, man. Thanks for telling your tale. TALE, that is.
As many of you know,
I posted that a few times, I guess. Pee-pee pants.
Here's an Appalachian horror story for you. I gotta warn you, if you're gonna be alone tonight or have to go walk outside in the dark for any reason, do not. From his North Carolina grandparents' home in the Appalachian Mountains. And what just dumbfounds people is how he survived. He was missing for 3 days, and he was in a pajama onesie. This is his picture of when they found him, okay? Now, if you notice, there's no mud on the bottom of his feet.
Quickly, by the way, this was a huge story when it came out. I know it did happen out in the Appalachian, but really big story. I know I covered it on KJ's What Happened, but, we cover so much content. Maybe you forgot, but check this out. This is a good breakdown. It's a weird one.
Yet, right after he went missing, it rained heavily. In fact, so much that there was so much mud that the rescuers could not navigate the woods hardly at all. Now, this is where it gets a supernatural twist. After he was found, for 3 days being missing with a few minor scratches, but he was fed and he had been drinking because he was not dehydrated. After he was found, they said, "How did you survive?" And he goes to tell the tale of the fuzzy people that saved him. Not fuzzy like Harry. He says fuzzy like TV static. Okay? He said they kept him company. They talked to him, though he couldn't understand them. They fed him. They watered him.
Watered him?
Twig snapping. They fed him. They watered him. They gave him shelter. And he was found just a quarter mile away from his home after rescuers had essentially given up and assumed that he could only be dead, because while he was missing, it was below zero. During the day, when it was above freezing, it was raining. So when it was above freezing, it was raining. So then he would have gotten hypothermia after being soaking wet. And when they found him, he was barely wet at all. Like, it had shown no signs, essentially, that he had been in these elements for 3 days. They didn't think it was possible for a grown man to survive these conditions, let alone a child that was just wearing pajamas. No cold weather gear, no nothing. His family will not recount the story the same way. They say that he said it was a bear. And the first responders are like, no, he said it was a fuzzy person. Fuzzy people took care of him. And they're like, no, he says it's a bear. And to this day, the family recounts the story as he talks about there being a bear. So guess what? During this search, they had hunters, trappers, because they thought, maybe it was an animal. There's mountain lions in that area. There's bears in that area. No bear scat was ever found. No bear dens were ever found. And most importantly, remember how muddy it was? There was no bear footprints found. What's even stranger is Casey, the little boy, his footprints were not found either. He was just found tangled up in a thorn bush a quarter mile away from where he went missing. The rescuers and his personal family had searched that exact area literally hundreds of times. Like, thousands of people were out here. They combed that area a million times. And he was so close to his home. How they found him is no one saw him. They could just hear him. He was like, hey, somebody come get me. And that's where he said the fuzzy people left him, was in this thorn bush. And you can see on that picture, if you go back, I'll put it up here again, you can see his little toe on the onesie is tore up, indicating that, yeah, he was stuck in that thorn bush. But why wasn't he muddy? If you look at photos of the rescuers, they were talking about, it was like knee-deep mud they're sloshing around in. They were talking about it was the worst, sloshiest conditions ever. Yet this little boy that's been out here for 3 days it looks like somebody's been carrying him the whole time. Kind of like how a big ape would carry their young. Kind of like how a Bigfoot would carry somebody. That's where the conspiracy theories go, is that this was a Bigfoot that abducted him or took care of him when he did wander away, because his grandma describes him as vanishing into thin air. She took her eyes off of him for 2 minutes, boom, he's gone. Now, we know how kids are, but the whole family immediately went searching for him. And even if he was in a full dead sprint, he shouldn't have been able to get that far, right? Now, a lot of people want to say Bigfoot photographs are always fake or they're always blurry. Well, if we listen to Casey Hathaway here, what if Bigfoot are just fuzzy? Like they're not blurry in the photos because somebody's a bad photographer. What if that's just the way they appear? Because if you look at Native American folklore, they talk about how Bigfoot is not a creature of our plane of existence. He can walk into our realm and out of our realm. So light wouldn't apply to him the same way if he's coming in and out, phasing in and out. And that would also explain why this little boy, he might have not even been in our plane of existence anymore. He might have been back to wherever Bigfoot land is, or what that area, the Appalachian area, call the Fae. If you want to look into the Fae story of this, the theory of this, Fae are often known for luring children. That is one of the big things they talk about with the Fae. They talk about people seeing that, like, they get their name called, or there's like this luring music, or they might even see another child in the woods motioning for them to come here, and it lures them. And the Fae have been described notoriously as being creatures of light, or being like fuzzy or blurry, because, you know, they're not quite of our realm, so you can't see them the way you would see like an actual regular physical object. Who knows? What we do know is that a little boy survived odds that no one should have been able to survive, with relatively no repercussions at all. And he himself talks about the fuzzy people, okay? And the doctors all agree somebody had to give him food and water.
Yeah, that's right. I remember, again, we covered it back when it first happened. And as I was putting all this together, I went and looked up some of the articles on it. And of course, all of it, it's a bear. There's a bear that
This
did
story
all.
comes out of the
A bear took care of him. It gave me goosebumps. 100% true Appalachian horror story. We're here for it.
Valley region of Virginia. There was this family from New York who had lived in the city most of their life. They wanted to get away and, you know, live that remote urban life. So they find this beautiful home on 16 acres in this secluded area of the Riverwalk Valley in the Appalachian Mountains. And their first day moving in, the father, right, he notices something weird. The neighbor actually comes not to greet them, not to welcome them to the area, but to warn them. And he says very specifically, at night, make sure you lock your doors and your windows and you close curtains. And he says, very important, there is something out there. And he goes, you mean the people in this area are like really like that you have to lock your doors? And he goes, I'm not talking about people, it's something else. But that's all I'm going to say. Now just remember, lock your doors and your windows at night, you'll be all right. So the neighbor leaves. Well, the father kind of just shakes it off and was like, okay, whatever. So they live there for several months, you know, and they really enjoy their new life. Well, this one particular night, the family is sitting in the living room and they have a fire going. That's when the father notices that the son is standing next to the window and he's staring at something very intently. And so he asks the son, you know, what are you staring at? What's out there? And he goes, Father.
Hey, real quick in live chat, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally removed somebody's message. Message was deleted. I'm sorry. My chat during the live show, mostly I'm watching the videos, but then I have my phone with live chat, so I'll try to comment and say hi to people and stuff. But I'm using just one hand, and sometimes I make these dumb mistakes. So whoever I messages it is that I removed, twere an accident. So thanks. All right, let's continue.
There's a boy out there. Like, there's this young boy. Can I go and play with him? And the father's like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no boy around here. We live in the woods. Like, there's no one around here. And he's like, no, father, there's a boy out there. There's a boy out there. And the father's like, you know what? Just, it's time for bed. Go to bed. And he doesn't really think anything of it. Over the next couple of weeks, right, the son keeps looking out the window at something and telling his father, there's this boy outside. And he keeps drawing pictures of this boy. And he keeps saying, you know, I really want to play with that boy. The father at the time just thinks, you know, this is something to do with him moving and his active imagination. Until one night, the whole family is asleep. When the father wakes to a sound coming from the living room, he gets his wife up and he's like, I think someone's in the house. I think someone's broken in. Like, go and get the children, make sure they're safe. So he gets up, he goes down the hallway very slowly. And when he gets to the living room and he flips on the light, there's his son on the floor playing with his toys. And the front door is wide open. So he asks his son, like, what are you doing up? Why are you out of bed? And he goes, Father, I'm playing with the boy. And he goes, what boy? What are you talking about? And he said, the boy, he came inside and he was playing with me. And his father's like, there is no boy here. Like, there's no one around here that is your age. So he tells his son to go to bed. He goes to the front door and he, peers out. There's no one out there. He closes the door. Well, up until this point, he had been keeping this door unlocked because he felt like, we live in the woods, nothing's going to happen. But that night, he starts locking the door. Well, the next couple of weeks, right, is when they started to hear this banging sound at the front door, like someone was there. And when the father would go and answer the door, there would be no one there. And eventually, the father gets so frustrated and angry with whoever's knocking at the door that one night he hears the knocking. He goes to the front door, he opens it, and, he goes out on the porch and he starts screaming, what are you doing at my house? Like, leave us alone, leave my family alone, like, quit. And all of a sudden, he hears his name being called. And it sounds like a child's voice. And it's telling him to come out into the woods. So his father, kind of makes his way back inside, closes the door, and locks it. And at this point, he's like, something is definitely going on. So the next day, he goes into town, and he goes to the local hardware store. And he talks with some of the locals. And he starts telling them, I think something's after my family. I think something is trying to, scare us. And the locals say, look, we're not trying to be rude, but you need to take your family and get out of here and move back to town if you know what's best for you. And the father takes this as, oh, they're trying to scare me out of town because I'm from the city. So he goes back home and is like, they're not going to scare us. At this point, though, the family is so terrified that they are all sleeping in the same bedroom. And after a couple nights of them sleeping in the bedroom together, the father wakes up and he sees his son standing next to the window and he's staring at something. And he's like, what are you looking at? Like, what is out there? What is out there? And he goes, they're here. They're here, Father. They're here. They're here. And he's like, who's here? And he's like, go back in the bed right now. He goes up to the window, and when he peers out, he sees all of these children standing around the house. And they have these bright, glowing white eyes. So he hurried up, he closes the curtains, and he gets in bed, and he holds his son, and he tells him to go to sleep. The next few days, he's very nervous. He's very on edge, but he doesn't know what to do. That night, he goes to bed with the family in the bedroom. He wakes up, and he discovers his family is all gone. He searches the entire home. They are nowhere. The only thing he finds is that the front door is open. So he figures they've taken his family out into the woods. So he runs as fast as he can out into the woods, and he starts screaming, where's my family? Give me back my family. And all of a sudden, he hears some movement coming through the woods. And out of the shadows steps this young boy. And as this boy takes a couple steps closer, he realizes it's his son. And he has these glowing white eyes. And he looks at his father and he says, not yet. And the father takes off running as fast as he can back to the house. He gets in his car, he drives into town and goes to the local pub. And he starts screaming to them, like, they've got my family, they've taken my family, like, you have to help me. And then he runs out of the bar and he leaves. And that was the last time that they ever seen this man or his family ever again. This story comes out of the...
Cool story, bro. Thanks for sharing. He looks at his father with glowing white eyes and he says, can I have the new PS5? This one's really, really creepy. Beware the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah, this one, I remember this one first came out. This one really got around there. In fact, I want to see if I can find perhaps a better version of this. Let me see. Let's see if that does it. That's better. Yeah, that's good. Okay. It's pretty good too. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and go with this one. Just trying to find the best shot. I just saw one with 4,000. There it is. Let's try this.
Where'd you just come from? Took the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Oh my What? What?
Did you see my other two guys?
These guys were recording in the Appalachian woods when they suddenly realized a woman was standing behind them, even though nobody heard footsteps or saw where she came from. At first, everyone was laughing, but the second she started talking, the entire mood changed. Her voice sounded slurred, shaky, and deeply unnatural, almost like something trying to imitate the way humans speak. One of the guys asked where she came from, but she just kept repeating that she was lost. The moment things became...
See, we just want to see the video. That's like the problem with modern social media, one of the problems.
What would you guys do in this situation?
Oh my goodness.
Did you see my other two guys?
What?
What?
Did you see my other two guys?
Did we see your other two guys? No.
This is supposed to go that way.
So these people are hiking, and this strange lady walks up to them and starts
Dude,
talking a lot of different kind of jip. I wouldn't even get to hear what she was saying.
Oh my goodness.
Starts following them.
Can't get over that?
Look at that weird mask.
What would y'all do? Would you try to help her? Or?
I would like to see the full clip without people interrupting. Now, you see, this is pretty scary, isn't it, guys? Because, you know, they don't know this lady, and she's following him. And like, we got it, guys. I know you want to be on camera. So weird. I just don't connect with that part of modern society. You know?
Where did you just come from? I took the wrong way. Oh my goodness.
These guys were laughing.
These guys were dudes. All right, we got it. I don't know if they're going to play the full clip anywhere here or what. Now you see what you're looking at here is it's a couple that, okay, we got it. You see, she pops in. We got a pop in. Got another pop in. We got a pop in. It's 2026.
Don't step off the tree.
This is pretty interesting. It's a short one. No pop ins.
Step off the trail.
As far as I know. This guy was hiking alone in the mountains when something strange happened. As he walked by that stranger, the guy said, "Don't get off the trail." Oh, we do have a pop in.
Travelers, but so maybe this guy was trying to warn him.
Okay, we get it.
Don't step off the trail.
When he stops, he's like, "What?"
Don't step off the trail.
You said, "What if I do?" Like shapeshifts into something. Like a tall, glowing white creature.
I just got this really cute umbrella from the dollar store and I wanted...
This one's pretty freaky. Listen to this scream she hears in the background.
I just got this really cute umbrella from the dollar store and I wanted to show you because I fucking think it's the cutest thing ever. Okay.
I did a series about how terrifying the ocean is. Let's talk about how freaking terrifying the woods are. Like, I'm just now finding out that the FBI said that there are probably over 500 serial killers, unnamed serial killers, that is,
actually, like
in the
this
woods
girl.
of I-40. And that land is government owned, so we don't even know what's going on. And just that, did y'all know that the Scottish Highlands and the Appalachian Mountains were once connected? That's why you see mimics and skinwalkers and all these things popping up in the lore over there and here. Both areas have feral people sightings. Honestly, there is a whole legend. In Scotland, apparently Scotland had a cannibal clan. Sawney Bean and Black Agnes was a couple that stayed out there, created a whole entire clan with their children and their children's children that would wait out in the woods for travelers to come by, and they would steal them into their caves and eat them. However, I did hear that this might have been English propaganda in that time to disparage the Scots, but I haven't completely fact-checked.
All right, I'm going to stop that. But I think I'm following her on TikTok. I am. Yeah, she's good. She covers some interesting subjects, this one.
This girl swears that something in the Appalachian Mountains attacked her brother one night and wouldn't let go and completely changed his personality. This story is so terrifying. If you were watching this at night, I would recommend just saving it, watching it again in the morning, because it is really, really scary. To protect the identity of her family and of her brother specifically, she wanted to remain anonymous, so we are going to call her Rachel. I have to be really careful giving location of this story, again, to protect identity, but it did happen in West Virginia. Rachel said she lived in a very rural area of West Virginia with her mom, her dad, and her brother. She came from a loving family. Her and her brother were straight A students, always did really well in school, but her brother, and we'll call him Mason, in high school started to kind of get tied up with the wrong crowd. And this group of friends, she said, wasn't like the popular kids in school. It wasn't like they were out partying at house parties and stuff. It was a very smaller group of kids, and they were kind of loners. And what they enjoyed doing was going out into the woods, kind of finding some old abandoned homes, having a few beers. She said she didn't really know what they were doing out there in the woods, but that they would go out, and usually he came home smelling like campfire, like smoky. The more he hung out with this group of kids, the more he became isolated, and his parents kind of started to get a little concerned. She said the night that changed everything, though, is whenever he told his parents he was going out to hang out with his friends in the woods. He didn't come home until super, super late. She said she was laying on the couch watching a movie when he came in the door, and she said that his clothes were ripped. Said he had some scratches on his face, but his whole demeanor was just like this very flat affect. Said she immediately got off the couch and was like, Mason, what is going on? Like, why are you all scratched up? And he just looked at her and he was like, nothing happened to me. She said, no, Mason, clearly something has happened to you. I'm going to go wake up mom and dad because what is going on? She said he has never, ever been violent towards her, but he grabbed her by the arms and sat her down on the couch and was like, do not wake them up. Next morning, he wouldn't come out of his room. He refused to go to school. His parents were very concerned and again asking him, Mason, what happened to you last night? Like, why are you all bruised up? Why do you have all these scratches? Why are your clothes torn? They called the families of the boys that were his friends, and all of the families were like, no, our sons didn't go out last night. They were all home. So Mason was never even with anyone. He went out into these woods alone, apparently. Rachel said as time went on, his behavior just became worse and worse. He became more isolated. He became more violent. He started mumbling to himself, she said. It was at this point that her parents thought that he may have some kind of a psychiatric disorder. She said he was seen by a psychiatrist and placed on meds, but the medication never helped. It wasn't until months later that Rachel said Mason finally admitted to her the reason he went out into the woods that night was because it was a dare from his friends. Apparently they had dared him to sit out in this abandoned home in the woods all night. He told her that as he was sitting alone there in the dark, something evil attacked him. He would not elaborate any further on it. She told her parents, who then told the psychiatrist, and they just kept increasing his medication, thinking again this is a mental disorder. Rachel said at this point, years have passed since this has happened. He has still never been the same, and he is currently in jail for violent crimes. Whatever happened that night has absolutely ruined their family. She just doesn't know how to explain it. She says
It reminds me of this new series. It's on AMC, and I'm really liking it. It's called The Devil in Silver. It's from a series called The Terror, and this is the 3rd season. First season was awesome. Second season I never really watched, so I'm not sure. But then this season's been great. So far it's been a really cool season. If you like, scary thriller type movies, it's not a blood and gore type thing. It's kind of a scary movie. But it opens with a guy that's a family man and runs afoul of the law, but not in a big way or anything. But instead of taking him and booking him or whatever for the night, they take him to this kind of out-of-the-way, random crazy house, really. And they lock him up in the crazy house. And as the series goes on, I've only seen a few episodes, but they keep trying to find ways to keep him in there longer. So he keeps getting stopped and having to stay in this place. But there's a whole thing going on, the plot, I guess, is there might be the devil himself hiding in a room behind the silver door, and he's absorbing everybody's pain and misery in there, and that's why they keep bringing new people in there, right? So pretty interesting story, man. I love that kind of stuff.
I don't know about you, but I love a good scary story, especially when it's about the Appalachian Mountains. A few days ago, I posted a Tea After Midnight story about the Appalachian Mountains, and you guys blew it up. And I just want to say thank you so much for every single person that's here. I'm so glad that you love this series just as much as I love making it. With that being said, I received another email about the Appalachian Mountains, and I thought it would be perfect to read to you guys tonight. I do want to say that this story has me super unsettled, so just a forewarning. But with that being said, grab your favorite tea and settle in while I tell you a scary story, because of course, this is Tea After Midnight. This story comes from Alicia. I have a very scary story that happened to me last year that I still can't seem to shake. My name is Alicia, and I am 32 female, and I also live in the Appalachian Mountains.
I am no stranger to the rules that we as Appalachians tend to follow. I know some people think it's a joke or that it's just folklore, but I follow the rules to a T because I believe it saved me 1 or 2 times. To preface this story, I want to say that I had just gotten through a nasty divorce and we did not have any kids together, so I, of course, was living by myself after my ex-husband left. I do, however, have one cat named Tom and a dog named Jerry. Yes, just like the cartoon. Directly as I get home, I take Jerry outside so he can do his business. It was around 5 p.m. and the sun was getting close to setting. Jerry and I go back inside and I start my nightly routine, cleaning the house, doing dishes, cooking supper, etc. It was a normal night like any other, and after my dog had eaten, I took him outside to potty before he laid down for bed. To set the scene, it was fall and the wind was howling particularly loud this evening. Of course, it was pitch black, the only light coming from the front porch, but it truly made no real dent in that kind of darkness. Jerry sniffed around for a second before I noticed he whipped his head around to the tree line of the property. He kept trying to go over there, pulling me with him as he was attached to his leash. I told him no, we aren't going over there and to finish your business. He wouldn't go though. He kept staring, but he didn't seem to be scared or alarmed. Of course, I couldn't see anything, and honestly, I didn't want to. So I directed Jerry back into the house and he went straight to his little bed. I began pulling the living room curtain shut when at the window I heard a tap. I was absolutely terrified as there is nothing outside of this window that could have made that sound. I jerked open the curtain enough to see outside and I saw absolutely nothing. Freaked all the way out, I figured it was just a bug that had hit the window, being that it was pretty windy outside. I turned to go to my bedroom to go to sleep, and as soon as I took a step, I heard it again. This time it was louder, but just one single tap. I froze in place for a good 20 seconds, but turned around to check the window again. Nothing was there. At this point, I am thinking I'm paranoid. It was...
I'm going to move on. This one's taking a little time. I didn't realize how long it was going to be, but thanks anyway, lady. I'm going to keep it flowing. Know what I'm saying?
I live in the Appalachian Mountains, and if you don't know anything about Appalachia, unexplainable things happen here. Everywhere you move, some weird stuff's going to happen. Like, I just moved out of my creepy old 1800s, used to be funeral home house, haunted house, and moved back to my creepy old haunted family land. Telling y'all this story before it gets dark outside because I am genuinely freaked out. Like a lot of Appalachians, I live in a holler and my house is really close to my mom's house. Like, you could throw a rock from my back door and hit my mama's house. The other night at like 1 a.m., I was leaving my mom and dad's house. They were both already asleep and had been asleep for literally hours. I know everybody in this holler was asleep. Like, nobody was up. I know it was only me. But I get a few steps off of my mom's steps and I start hearing whistling. So I start walking in the dark from my mom's house to my house, which, like I said, you can throw a rock and hit it. It's not a very far walk at all. I'm walking, I hear a whistle, and I try to pretend like I don't hear it, and I continue walking, and then I hear another whistle, but it sounds different. It doesn't sound like a bird, not that a bird would be whistling at 1 a.m. Almost sounded like somebody trying to whistle a song, and then the second time sounded more like, you know, like the... but long and drawn out and slow and super creepy sounding. I'm not a great whistler, but I'm going to try to show y'all how it sounded. So the first one was like... Then the second one was like...
Says they're awful examples.
Remember, I live in rural Appalachia. There are no streetlights, so you literally can't even see your hand in front of your face. It gets so dark at night. I was using my flashlight, but it literally just lights up like right in front of you. Not sound like a bird. I tried to convince myself that it was my aunt or my uncle because it came from their yard or like their wood line, which is right beside my mom's house. So it was coming from like behind me as I was walking towards my house. There's always been weird, creepy stuff that happens here on this land, but I don't know. It seems like it just keeps getting worse. So living.
Thanks, lady. Appreciate it. Appreciate your scary story. Once again, anybody in live chat or listening later, let us know if you guys if you live out there, if you're from there, if you heard stories about it, familiar with it. Unexplained sighting caught in the woods.
Over where?
Allegedly.
Hey!
Appalachia.
What are you doing over there?
Where'd it go, Carly? Looked like something. Is it real?
The following video is terrifying. Something is drawing this man into the woods. Now, he's about 150 yards in. His home is directly behind him, and he's in a remote area in the mountains. This situation has happened before. He said he's heard a baby crying, and that's what pulled him into the woods. Well, this time around, he hears children. Again, it's a remote area in the mountains. There's nobody out here. There shouldn't be anybody out here with him, much less children playing. But as you listen, you can clearly hear what sounds like a child. Is this some sort of creature or unidentified creature trying to lure him into the woods? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Listen to this shit. Keep in mind, about 150 yards into a 20-acre wooded area. Listen. There's nothing around. You hear that? That's my dog barking back at my house because he hears it. Y'all still think that shit's a panther? Because I don't. And this is in the middle of the fucking day. I'll be back tonight.
All right, you better. Said you better. You better record.
The following footage is from a woman named Alexis. She was driving down a...
By the way, I've got a few from her, Paranormal Link. Man, look, or Myra Moore is also one of the names she uses. She uses a few different names, but man, she is like one of the best in the biz. I'm really glad I found her. I got to give people credit, man, she's so good at finding all these great clips. So I found several from her from the Appalachian, so I wanted to share. Whatever reason, it reminds me of like switching names and stuff. It reminds me. Oh, and somebody in chat was asking where they can post their UFO videos. Go to my website, whoiskjosborne, OZBORNE.com. I have a live chat there. It's 24/7. You can post links to stories, videos. You can post videos in the chat. So I've got it set up like that. So for people like you. So if you want to share something, go to my website, whoiskjosborne.com, and you can post it there. And just, obviously I ask you post legit real stuff. You know what I mean? Don't post links that are going to lead to anybody getting any trouble or anything or a virus or whatever, because I block IPs there too, and I do check. So yeah, please just be cool. 97% of the time people are super cool there. So yeah, please be cool. But yeah, I've got it set up where you can leave links to things and whatever. But somebody over there asked me recently why they say it's kind of hard to find me, because I'm all over the place. I'm under the name KJ Osborne on BitChute and Rumble. I'm under KJ's What Happened Here on YouTube. The Scariest Movie Ever on Instagram. Scariest Movie Ever on X. Yeah, so I'm kind of all over the place like that. And then I've got the Scariest Movie Ever YouTube channel. But I explained to them, and some of y'all know who've been with me for a long time, back when they really started hammering people about 7 years ago, when Susan was still in charge, and they really was going after channels. A lot of channels were going away. I started a BitChute and a Rumble back then, but I started them on purpose under different names. I started this channel under a different name, all of it on purpose, because when all that started happening, I saw several a lot of people lost their channels. I saw several creators go down, and one of them in particular was called SGT Report. So once they removed him from YouTube, they just, like, someone went online, found every social media thing he had and removed it. He lost everything within a week because they just kind of tracked him from SGT Report. They found everything. So back then, that's when I was like, okay, I need to switch it up, mix it up. If I'm going to be online for a long time, I need to have different places, different names. It's, you know what I mean? It's the little finesse, it's like the little changes you make, can help. And I believe it helped. I believe it's helped all these years. So I know it's a bit of a story time from me, but yeah, that's what happened, man. I figured that'd be the best move. And as you know, I'd lost the scariest movie ever at one time, and shortly after lost Patreon. I'd had for 6 years, both for the same reasons, for cyberbullying and quote hate speech, right, unquote. So yeah, I've been here. So hey, you know what? Shout out to you. Shout out to the members. Good to see everybody again here tonight, but just shout out to the members big time. Shout out to those who support the videos and shows, subscribe to our family specifically, and everybody else in whichever way you do. I recently sent a bunch of cards out to everybody from the P.O. Box. I hope everyone got their cards. Thank you kindly for anything you send. I'll do another video soon. Actually, I'll do it probably this week for the members of Chubbs again, but I'm going to show you something someone sent me for Chubbs, what it looks like, and we'll do that. So just little things I can do to say thank you for being a member, man. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. Okay, so got all that. We all good, and let's continue.
Road in the Appalachian Mountains, enjoying the scenery, when she came upon something truly creepy and weird. What looks like women's high heels strategically placed along the road. But so many questions arise as to why and who did this, and what does it mean? What I can confirm is that she nor anyone in her vehicle set this up or put them there. This is what they actually encountered driving down this road. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Average drive through the Appalachian Mountains. It is kind of creepers, just seeing random. Reminds me of Tom Hanks. Y'all know about his weird, maybe fetish, but on his Instagram for many years, he would post random images of like articles of clothing just in weird places, all over the place. Maybe out in the woods, maybe on a bridge, maybe out in the street, in a gutter. And I've got my own theories on that. I did a video on him many years ago about that, about his weird stuff with the articles of clothing. And years later, we had that.
The following two videos are from
had that video come out of the little young man and his girlfriend with their camera phone finding that Masonic temple in that cave. Bleachers and stacks of shoes. And all the shoes looked really, really little. Really, really little.
Witness who lives in the Appalachian Mountains. He records in the first video what sounds like horrifying screams.
There it
from
is.
an
Look at that
unidentified
thing.
creature.
It's another
He
one
has
of
no
those.
idea what it is. So he decides to put out some cell phones and attempt to capture this creature a couple of days later. What he records is something truly terrifying. The question, though, is what is this creature? Is it a Wendigo? A rake? Some other supernatural creature? Or is this a hoax? It's interesting to note that the Appalachian Mountains were once a part of the Scottish Highlands, part of the Central Pangea mountain range. With all the folklore and myths coming out of the Scottish Highlands, makes you wonder, is that why our Appalachian Mountains are full of paranormal activity? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
I just woke up and everybody's asleep in the house and stuff, you know. And someone is screaming outside.
the door. Open the door. I can see you. Open the door. Open the door. Hello.
But over and over and again, it is those things that people call rakes, looks like, right? The white humanoid.
The paranormal chick here. Take a look at this terrifying video. This was captured near the Appalachian Mountains. The witness was out throwing out his trash when he records this awful screeching from an unidentified creature. The question is, what could be making this sound and what is it? Take a look, listen to this, and tell me what you think.
Going out here by myself. Weird stuff out here. I've been hearing weird stuff out here, so. Yep. Yep, there it is. Going out here by myself. Weird stuff out here. I've been hearing weird stuff out here, so. Yep. Yep, there it is. Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Time to go.
Sounds like it's pain.
Weird stuff out here. I've been hearing weird stuff out here, so. Yep. Yep, there it is. Time to go.
He knew. Apparently he's had that experience before. It sounded like it was in pain, distress, didn't it?
The following video comes from a man who lives near the Appalachian Mountains. He always goes hiking and typically he's by himself. But as we know, there's a lot of myth and lore, paranormal that comes out of these mountains. He's never experienced it. It was until this video. He captures some unidentified animal that he's never heard before in the woods. Take a look at this video, listen to it, and tell me what you think could have caused this.
Hello? Hello?
Hey!
Who?
Hey! Doesn't sound very nice. I think we may have seen that one earlier, right? Hey! Or was that something different? I'm not sure. You tell me.
The following footage is from a family who was out hiking in the Appalachian Mountains when they recorded what sounds like unidentified animals screaming out in the forest. Now, it truly sounds spooky. I have no idea what it could be. But with all the folklore, all the paranormal lore coming out of the Appalachian Mountains, your best bet is not to be hiking in those woods at night and to leave immediately. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think. Lower then.
Wait, no, first. Hold on.
No, hold on.
I'm going first.
Hold on, go first. I'm about to take a picture. You gotta be lower than that. Look at him, he moved.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, let's try to catch something. Y'all ready to go back?
Yes, I am.
I'd say. You ready to go? Yep. Time to go. Time to go. After finding holes in garage door, check security camera, and this is what was recorded.
Comes from a family who noticed these holes in their garage door. So they decided to look at the footage from the night before. And what they captured was truly terrifying. What looks like a humanoid, unidentified creature was trying to break through their garage door. But the interesting question is, what is this? It actually looks like it has the animal eye shine. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think this could have been.
Got the shiny eyes. We've seen those before. Those little shiny eyes. Here it is. Peekaboo. All right. Good one. One more from Myra. I think it's Myra. No. Police respond to a creepy sound. This is tagged as Appalachia. Let's check it out.
As their car rolls to a stop at the edge of a dense trail, a chilling screech rips through the night.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop.
One officer mutters, they say Bigfoot isn't real, but whatever's making that sound doesn't seem ordinary.
And they say Bigfoot isn't real? I don't ever want to stick my arm.
Weird stuff, man. Told you a lot of it is the noises. This says the most convincing paranormal footage from the heart of Appalachia. Let's see what this is.
Get up here.
Oh yeah, this is a weird one. Look at
Get
that
away
thing.
from him. Come on, guys. You okay?
Kids, you get up here now and you get away from that floating demon in the woods now. Come on, your mom's making hamburger helper. Now, kids, I'm telling you to leave that demon alone. He don't want to play with you. He wants to consume your soul. Now, get up here, kids, before I miss the new episode of Big Brother.
3 years ago.
This is, by far, one of the most convincing paranormal videos I have ever seen by a very clearly concerned father. But you know what? They are from West Virginia. And what small child in West Virginia has not been taught the ways of dealing with demons?
Get up here. Get away from him. Come on, guys.
Yeah, hard to say. You decide as always. Thought that'd be a fun one though. Some of these are fun ones. Get away from him. And now here's this fella, the supernatural sleuth, who does almost consistently videos on the Appalachian and showing videos and clips. So I wanted to play a few of his videos here. And let's see. Appalachian Witch.
Imagine checking your trail cameras and find this staring back at you. Some people believe the old witches of Appalachia never really died, and this video may prove that. Trail cameras are becoming one of the most vital pieces of equipment to catch things natural and unnatural. I personally have used them for many years, and I haven't really caught anything too extreme, but some people do. I want you to pay really close attention, because you're going to see something come out of the darkness toward the camera. Maybe it's a witch, maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's not real at all. Then, a few moments later, something else came crawling out of the darkness. I want you to watch this and tell me in the comments, what do you think this is? Is it a hoax? Is it a witch, a ghost, or something else? Let me know in the comments what you think. Have a great day. God bless.
Weird. Whatever it is.
Imagine checking your...
So what I'll do is I'm going to go through here and just take a look. We'll play a couple more of his. I'll play the real popular ones, the ones with lots of views. That have to do with the Appalachia. Let's see, there's one. Smoky Mountain Feral People, Terrifying Encounter.
This couple found out the hard way why you don't go wandering
Smoky
around
Mountain's different,
Mountains
but
if
still.
you don't know where you're going. In the early 2000s, this Ohio couple...
Actually, I'll forget that. It's 7 minutes long. I'll keep moving on. I'm trying to focus on the Appalachian. Here we go. Wendigo caught on camera, Appalachia.
What I'm about ready to show you is why you don't go roaming around Appalachia unprepared.
Best.
Right here is the reason why when you're out in the mountains in Appalachia, if something calls your name, you don't respond. If you hear something whistle, you never whistle back. And why you always close your curtains at night. You guys know my theory, and I don't go into detail in every video I post, but I believe all of these paranormal beings, which according to culture, I think people would refer to this as maybe a Wendigo or Wendigo. But at the core, I believe it's just another paranormal entity that is demonic, but it takes this form, a Wendigo. They are known to be having a craving for human flesh. So this is out roaming around in Appalachia and many other places. Take a closer look. You can see this thing. He walks bipedal like a human on two legs. Very long arms with what could be claws, long claws, and the elongated head, nose, glowing eyes. It's definitely not human. It's not a deer. It's not a bear. So I want to know what you think.
Reminds me of the, was it San Antonio Zoo? Or was it San Diego Zoo? One of those places, they had a camera, security camera that captured, it straight up looked like a werewolf out of a movie standing outside of its gates.
Head, nose.
Which reminds me of that picture right there. Good one, sir. Thanks. Entertain us some more, please. Let's see. We'll find a couple, maybe one more from Appalachia. If I can find another big one from him. Let's see. He's got a couple of them went pretty viral. Right, Chubbs? Terrifying video from the Australian outback. All right, we'll go and stop there, actually. You know what? We've done a good 2.5 hours. Jeepers. Just over 500 awesome, cool, interesting, critically thinking, beautiful, handsome individuals. Had to throw that in. This world's all about looks, isn't it? That's why we choose Jesus, man. Jesus number one. Jesus numero uno. Jesus muy bueno. Best ever, man. Best ever choice. I hope you choose Jesus, man. I love going through these subjects. It's my wheelhouse, man. I was writing short stories about UFOs, aliens, and demons when I was 8 years old. I've talked about that in the past. Some of y'all know my whole history. Throughout the years, I give bits and pieces. But I've always been drawn to it, interested in it, exposing it. You know, the Lord really took all these interests and turned me into the person I am today. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here. But yeah, please choose Jesus, man. If you haven't accepted that free gift of salvation, please do, my friend. He's reaching out to you. And, you know, some of these videos might be a little fake. I'm not sure, you know, but there's enough stuff that's real. There's enough stories out there that are real that I know that it's an interesting area, a dangerous area, a paranormal and supernatural area. And stay protected. A lot of these videos we watched tonight in the live chat, people were saying, just cast it out in Jesus' name. I agree. That's the thing. That's why they never have true followers of Christ in any of these movies or TV shows. You know what I mean? Anytime they got to cast a demon out, they have to go to the Catholics. They have to go to a priest, you know, but the truth is that we have that gift through the Holy Spirit, all of us. If you accept Jesus, you're filled with the Holy Spirit. You can cast demons out in Jesus' name. I've done it in my own life. I know it's real, right? So all that being said, don't let me ramble all night. Let me jump over here and say hi to y'all over in chat. Throw a little background up here for us. Something mysterious and woodsy-like. Like, that'd be cool. Yeah. That's what I had up earlier. I'll do this one. There we go. Keep it interesting. Keep it mysterious. Hey, guys, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, man. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Tamara, for all your work. Thanks for being here. I saw you had to kick a jerk out earlier. I'd seen them just making a bunch of negative comments, so thank you. You know what I mean? Like, we try to keep it cool here, keep it light. There's prayer warriors here aplenty, so if you need prayers, let us know in the chat or in the messages later. And I always pray for anybody who asks. People ask me over on my website sometimes. Once again, please check out Who is KJ Osborne. If you want to leave me some stories or some videos or whatever, that's the place to do it, man. So, you know, please leave it over there on my live chat. It's open 24/7. And yeah, man, I know you'll be cool. But for those who wouldn't, I block IPs pretty easily over there. So please don't. It's not a place to troll or whatever. I've had to block people. No big deal. Part of the biz. You know, it comes with the territory, as they say. Still have a busy weekend, though, man. So tomorrow, we've got KJ's What Happened. We got the big show, man. 2 p.m. Central Standard. Plenty to share. Can't wait to hang out with you. This Sunday, brand new video, man. Fresh out of the oven, piping hot. It'll be up later on Sunday. I'd posted a video on a Sunday a few weeks back, early, and it was one of my worst performing videos I've ever had. But a week earlier, I'd posted there's something strange happening in Denver Airport, and that was just one of the best performing videos, and that was also on a Sunday, but that was later on a Sunday. So that's why I want to wait a little bit on Sunday. Actually, I'll touch it up Sunday morning, and then I'll post it later Sunday in the afternoon or in the early evening. And then, Yeshua Lawson, we will all keep you in your prayers because you're struggling, my friend. Hang in there. Hang in there. You're welcome, Scooby-Doo-Wah. Good to see you. And I will say hi to Chubbs. So then we have the Uncensored Show on Rumble, Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard. I hope you can make it. It's under the name KJ Osborne, Ozborne. All right. Villain Vids. KJ, I've been trying to fight off spiritual attacks for the last year, and I really need prayer. You got it. Let's pray real quick. Heavenly Father, first off, our friend Villain Vids, also Yeshua Lawson, they're asking for prayer. They're struggling. They're fighting off spiritual attacks. Father, I pray you really be with them, encourage them, lift them up, guide them, help them, and help them to not be so difficult on themselves, so hard on themselves, you know, like through all this. At the same time, they want to honor you, you know, and that's a lot of us. So that's for all of us, Father. All of us who are just trying to walk a good walk, though, you know, we know we're not perfect. We know we struggle in the flesh. We have our issues here and there. Just help us, encourage us. Let us know this isn't, just let us know you're with us through all this, Father. We already know through the word that you can conquer all these things. I know in my life you've conquered these things, many. Although I've been like a dog returning to the vomit, made my mistakes, many of us do. But just please keep encouraging us, keeping us on that path, keeping us strong. And I know you will. So thank you, Father, for that. We love you so very much. And thanks for all the things you provide in our lives, all the comforts. We have our comforts in this life, and it all comes from you. All good things come from you. So thanks for looking out for us, Father. We love you. I pray we're all found worthy to escape the things coming upon this earth. And in Jesus' name I pray in Jesus' name I pray, amen. Thank you. All right. What's up, Chubby? Hanging out with me? Thanks again, you guys. We got such an awesome God. He loves you so very much. If you haven't accepted that free gift of salvation, please do. Confess with your mouth, believe in your heart. Creator came here in the flesh, lived a perfect life, died a brutal, disgusting, horrible death he didn't deserve, was buried. 3 days later, resurrected, ascended to heaven, and he's coming back for his bride, which is me and you. All right? All right. Hey, guys, thanks again. Like I said, got a crazy busy weekend, plenty of content to come, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard here, and just love you guys in Christ. Y'all take care. Have a great evening. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again, Tamara. I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing, right? If we're all here. All right, take care. See you soon.